Sriram Karni is a published novelist, an author and a columnist who has a 20-year-old career spanning journalism, corporate communication and entrepreneurship. His second novel, Autobiography of a Mad Nation, was longlisted for the Man Asian Literary Prize in 2009 and is rapidly surging in all the bestseller lists. He writes for the New York Times. Formerly, he has worked with the Indian Express, the Deccan Chronicle, and also writes for The Guardian and The Hindu. As part of a corporate career in communications and branding, he has worked with TCS, Infosys, Satyam Computers, and ISB. Today, he is going to talk about growing up through the 70s, 80s, 90s, and through the millennium. Let's watch Growing Up through Sriram Karni's eyes. Let's hear.
We had no camera. My adventure was crossing the road. My adventure was fighting with teachers, coming back, writing letters to the principal, asking to fire the teachers, etc. I saw death of politicians. I saw riots. I saw curfew. I almost died many times. But this is why the belief that India is mad. 1947, August 15, Jawaharlal Nehru speaks after 300 years of struggle against the British in English language, a language nobody knows. Imagine Chinese becoming free from British and the speech of their premier is in English, not Chinese. And anyway, nobody knows what trias means. Least of all, I suspect Nehruji. And then Nehruji, Motilal ji, Pandit ji, Indira ji, Rajiv ji, Rahul ji, Priyanka ji, Sonia ji. And that's future ji. And we are still called democracy. And that's amazing. This is amazing democracy too. Mummy and Sanjay. Sanjay used to speak on the radio. It used to be like Mahabharata again. Sanjay used to tell Mahabharata to Dhritarashtra. And on All India Radio during emergency. Notice one thing, Advani is before Vajpayee, how times change. Advani was a bigger leader than him. And this man is the first space astronaut from India. He's actually a taxi hitchhiker. Russians were sending a spacecraft, he asked for a lift. He went up and says, Sare jahan se acha Hindosita hamara. We didn't invent the rocket, we didn't pay for the fuel. And the word Sare jahan se acha is by Amla Iqbal, who's a Pakistani. So strange Indian feeling. Nobody tells you why India should be secular. This team, Kapil Dev's Devils, Kapil Dev, Roger Binny, Kirmani, and Sodhi, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai were there in this team. Nobody ever told you since 1983 that that is what secularism can do to you, make you the world champion for the first time in your life. And this is what we do to our heroes. Michael Jordan wouldn't see that moment in America. This is the development we have seen in India. This is what he was. This is what you made him out to be. But line aaj bhi wahin se shuru hote hai jahan se hum khade hote hain. Mummy died, Prime Minister, and what followed was brutal. And this is a cycle you will see again, presiding the country when one of the first and one of the worst genocides in independent India happened. Nobody wrote against him because he looked so beautiful. And this is what happened. There was no private television. There was only Doordarshan, which I'll come to later. Doordarshan was part of our life. But those who think Islam and terrorism is such a big thing, you'd think that line is unusual, right? It was a very normal thing to say in those days. Sikhs are terrorists. We have this famous equation in mathematics in school, left-hand side equals right-hand side. This is that moment in India, I think, intolerance flipped over. Islamic terrorism, Hindu intolerance, caste-based intolerance, gender intolerance, every intolerance, this was a testing case. India was the first country, not Iran or Saudi Arabia, to ban that book. VP, Advani, they came together. You'd be surprised to know that the BJP formed its government in the center with VP Singh along with the Communist Party of India, 1989. They came together and burnt India. Ram Janmabhoomi Mandal Commission, we were in 12th class, our board exams got delayed. That's why I don't become an engineer and go to America. Still hate those guys. Sorry for the interruption, but this was the most popular thing we saw. Absolutely, nobody forgets this. Imagine one channel for 2 hours to 3 hours a day in the evenings, only on Sundays, morning to evening, and we thought television destroyed our lives. Then came Narasimha Rao, this became this. Lalita ji became Lagan. This man liberated India. We are here today because of him, and we think it's because of him. This guy was a mask even then and will remain forever a question mark. I was there, adventure. I was there that day. I didn't take photographs. They're there in the memory. I wasn't here. I'd have killed the guy otherwise. But again, it happens. As a country, we bring back cycles. We don't learn. We don't want to learn because we like to forget. We like to forget because On weekends, it's nice to be with Ranbir Kapoor and Katrina Kaif. And a question, is India like Ram or Krishna? Go back home with this question. I believe we are like Ram. We lost Sita to Ravan, we made an unlikely war with monkeys, defeated Ravana, and the moment we got what we wanted, we got freedom, secularism, we burn it. We destroy what we need most. And the madness continues. Boy for my son, Ayya preferred. No job for a Muslim. This is weird. We have embraced homosexuality, but caste remains. Think about the modernity and primitivity that combines together in modern India 2015. This boy is getting a lot of job offers. And one thing about India, you can say, I am better than Pakistan at all times in our history. We beat them in cricket, we beat them in war, our movies are better. But is that the better you want to be? Are you wanting to be in India which can always say, I am better than Pakistan, but that's because by definition they are better than us. This was India. They knew this equation, e to the power I pi plus 1 equals 0. 5 magical numbers none of the world knew. We made yoga, we made Ayurveda, we invented chess, we knew stars, we knew how to understand the movement of stars. We used to be a great nation. We have lost it somewhere in these centuries. Achhe din aayenge, not because of politicians, not because of anything, because of evenings like these. The spirit to invent something world class in the guy who wants to spend all TCS money in scuba diving. The most important slide, where I promote my book, which is illegal. That's okay if the talk has to end here, it'll end here. But understand, we made a very strange, adventurous journey in the last 40 years. If we remember it, we'll have brighter days in the next 40 years, and hopefully we won't be condemned to repeat what was so dark. Thank you so much.